He who does not know how to look back at where he came from will never get to his destination. A timely reminder for everyone to remember both their roots and the people who helped them get to where they are. This is one of the most enduring quotes from Rizal. But who is Rizal? Well, let us talk about who he is. Jose Protacio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda, hailed as the greatest national hero of the Philippines, was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, in the Philippines, Laguna Province. One of the 11 children of Francisco Ingracia Rizal Mercado y Alejandro and Teodora Morales Alonso y Quintos. At the early age of 3, Jose Rizal had already learned the English alphabet, and by the age of 5, he could already read and write. A brilliant student who became proficient in multiple languages, Jose Rizal studied medicine in Manila. In 1882, he traveled to Spain to complete his medical degree. While in Europe, Rizal became part of the propaganda movement, connecting with other Filipinos who wanted reform. He also wrote his first novel, Noli Me Tangere, Touch Me Not, a work that detailed the dark aspects of Spain's colonial rule in the Philippines, particularly focused on the rule of Catholic friars. The book was banned in the Philippines, though copies were smuggled in. Because of this novel, Rizal's return to the Philippines in 1887 was cut short when he was targeted by police. Rizal had been very vocal against the Spanish government, but in a peaceful and progressive manner. For him, the pen was mightier than the sword. While in Barcelona, Rizal contributed essays, poems, allegories, and editorials to the Spanish newspaper La Solidaridad. Most of his writings, both on his essays and editorials, centered on individual rights and freedom, especially for the Filipino people. As part of his reforms, he even called for the inclusion of the Philippines to become a province of Spain. But among his best works, 2 novels stood out from the rest. The first, Noli Me Tangere, Touch Me Not. Second, El Filibusterismo, The Reign of the Greed. In both novels, Rizal harshly criticized the Spanish colonial rule in the country and exposed the ills of Philippine society at the time. And because he wrote about the injustices and brutalities of the Spaniards in the country, the authorities banned Filipinos from reading the controversial books. However, they were not able to ban it completely. As more Filipinos read the books, their eyes opened to the truth that they were suffering unspeakable abuses at the hands of the Spaniards. Upon his return to the Philippines, Rizal formed a progressive organization called La Liga Filipina. This civic movement advocated social reforms through legal means. Now, Rizal was considered even more of a threat by the Spanish authorities, alongside his novels and essays, which ultimately led to his exile in Dapitan in northern Mindanao. This, however, did not stop him continuing his plans for reform. While in Dapitan, Rizal built a school, hospital, and water system. He also taught farming and worked on agricultural projects, such as using abaca to make roofs. In 1896, Rizal was granted leave by then-Governor General Blanco, after volunteering to travel to Cuba to serve as doctor to yellow fever victims. But at that time, the Katipunan had a full-blown revolution, and Rizal was accused of being associated with a secret militant society. On his way to Cuba, he was arrested in Barcelona and sent back to Manila to stand for trial before the court-martial. Rizal was charged with sedition, conspiracy, and rebellion, and therefore sentenced to death by firing squad. Days before his execution, Rizal bid farewell to his motherland and countrymen through one of his final letters, entitled Mi Ultimo Adios, or My Last Farewell. Dr. Jose Rizal was executed on the morning of December 30, 1896, in what was then called Bagumbayan, now referred to as Luneta. Upon hearing the command to shoot him, he faced the squad and uttered in his final breath, "It is finished." According to historical accounts, only one bullet ended the life of the Filipino martyr and hero. Before his execution, there's a controversy that he retracted all his words and that all his novels or writings were all untrue. However, whether he retracted or did not, it will never change the fact that Jose Rizal is a hero. He's one of those who fought and saved our country, Philippines. He opened the eyes of the Filipinos on cruelty of the Spaniards. He awakened our knowledge of nationalism, and that was enough. Even if he retracted, it is negligible when compared to his accomplishments and contributions to the country, and it detracts nothing from his greatness as a Filipino. Today, Dr. Rizal's brilliance, compassion, courage, and patriotism are greatly remembered and recognized by the Filipino people. His novels are continuously being analyzed by students and professionals. Rizal may have died on December 30, 1896 at the tender age of 35, but much more of him than his remains in Rizal Park lies in the hearts of the Filipinos.